G'day, boys. How are we? Back in the studio. It's been a couple of weeks. Lots going on, hasn't it? How are
Yeah,
you?
there certainly has been a lot going on, and we got Joey back in studio to talk what he's been up to because I know he's been up to some mischief, haven't you, Joey?
Yeah, I've been up to few bits and pieces. You know how I roll,
You're touching a few bits and pieces, are you?
shaking and baking.
Oh dear, what a way to start the show. Yeah, sadly, I've had to screw up my first dates application for you, Joe, that I was going to submit on your behalf because it looks like you could be off the market.
Oh gosh, well, yeah, we can move right along there.
So basically, you finish your Dating in the Dark. That's it. We won't ever see you on a new season of Dating in the Dark.
No, that's it. I've been told to go on Maths and all those other great shows. Look, I'm really glad I went on reality TV. Would I do it again? No.
Oh, come on. We had stuff lined up.
Yeah,
We had stuff in the pipeline.
I can tell you how it all works. Reality TV, like literally, you'll go on a date with somebody in a highly controlled environment. Then after you go on the date, the producer will interview you very much similar how we're talking here right now, and it'll be like.
So you got your notepad, just like that.
No, like the producer will have their notepad, and it'll be like, "So Adrian, tell me how your date went," and you'll
shit house.
Just tell me how a date would go.
Well, we had dinner, and then I tried to have sex, and I didn't get sex.
Yep, and then so I'm the producer now. I'll be like, all right, dinner, tried.
Couldn't have sex.
Adrian, and the producer will look at it. Adrian, I want you to say, we had a really, really crappy dinner, and when I tried to have sex with her, she wouldn't put out. Then they just get you to parrot like they're in the business of making TV. They'll just summarize your experience. You tell them, the producer will make some notes and say, I want you to say, this is what happened, then that's what happened. Yeah, they'll twist it. So yeah, that's a bit of insight into reality TV dating
Mine would
shows.
be like, it sucked. He was distracted looking at fishing reports on his phone, wouldn't stop talking about tuna.
So basically those guys who've just joined us on the live stream here, Joey's no longer on the dating scene. He's no more apps.
It's funny. He's trying not to label it. But right here, right now, I'm calling it that this is the one, Joe.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I predict weddings and maybe even a little Joey coming along.
So I'm sure the new girlfriend's probably listening live right now. Is she?
I'm not so sure about that.
No?
She doesn't know where we are.
Okay.
This is like the Bat Cave. This is like Batman's Bat Cave. It's like a secret underground bunker where we do this podcast every single week.
She doesn't need to know where we are. We're on the web.
Exactly.
All right, Joe. We'll let you off the hook.
This is a fishing podcast, right?
No, it's not.
This is your life, Joey Fernand.
It's about wind versus tide. Wind versus tide, like the wind versus tide that nearly killed us going out the eastern entrance yesterday, Adrian.
We actually decided after...
Oh, my God, you're alive.
Dave actually got quite scared when we got to the eastern entrance.
I didn't. I just got off my beanbag and stood up.
Yes, you did.
And the beanbag.
It was like a really big tide yesterday. I think it was almost a 3-meter tide, and the tide started ebbing, and it was wind against tide too.
So that's out the eastern entrance, which is a lot different to, say, going out of the western entrance.
Look, it's a lot nicer. It's 20 meters of waves as opposed to 5 kilometers of waves.
That's right.
So, it's the preferred option. But,
I got to the red pole and I said, shit, Dave, it's windy here. And you just looked at me and said, it's only going to be this bit. Let's keep going. I'm like, okay, I'll keep driving.
And naturally, you were going out the eastern entrance to catch
whiting.
Yeah, Dave loves his whiting.
Heard there was a big patch up of whiting out there.
That's a surprise.
Yes. Unfortunately, before we could get to the whiting, we accidentally hooked a big tuna.
Well, we did see on Gippsland Win TV station that there was some barrels caught off Inverloch, so we're going to go that way and chase some barrels, and then. A mate from a tackle shop owner, tackle shop worker.
Large T.
Yep, rather large T.
Wait, Mr.
Decided
T?
he would look for barrels that way, and on his way home, he stumbled across some a lot closer, and we decided we'll have a crack at them, and there we were. out there.
How's the life been out there at the moment? Like,
It was incredible, Joey. You had any mammal you can think of that lives in the ocean.
Otters?
Well, I think they're a freshwater thing, so I'm
Ah.
not going to say
well,
otter.
I do remember one of you guys sending me a picture through of your sounder, and it was literally like a clump of 3 barrels, and there was bait like littered from from the top down to 50 meters, and it's like the barrels had eaten a hole in the middle of the bait.
That was from my day. I think you're talking about the one with Dave, which we'll
get to that
soon.
in a minute.
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
We'll talk about yesterday. So yesterday me and Adrian went out and had ourselves a little hunt for big tuna.
we did.
Again.
We did have another hunt for a big tuna.
And it's just been a bloody incredible tuna season everywhere, but especially close to home, they just seem to keep coming on through, which is awesome. I don't know if it's there's definitely more fish than normal, but there's also a few more people with eyes wide open out there looking. So I think we keep getting continued reports, which sees more fish caught. And
it's been an amazing season on these large jumby-sized tunas, hasn't it?
it really has. The old jumbies.
One of the all-time great barrel seasons. It will go down forever in history.
2022, they'll be on the new Chinese year of the tuna, I reckon.
Yes. So
Let's
anyway,
go 2022 passed around.
Do you want to give a quick recap of yesterday, Adrian?
Oh, I can give a recap.
Yeah,
So,
you certainly can.
basically, it was when was it? Tuesday night. We decided we'd go Wednesday morning,
Yes.
and Dave basically goes, "We're going for a 6:30 launch." So I was at his house at just after 6:15. I go, "Oh no, Dave slept in. He's like, we're not getting him there for a 6:30 launch."
No, you were actually early.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you have for breakfast? Did you have pie face or Macca's?
Nah, we got pie face actually.
Yeah, we got
it's a
pie
funny
face.
story about this pie face
And it
because
sucked.
Dave had some gristles in his, and he wasn't impressed. I think he threw it overboard after a couple of bites, and I waited till we got offshore to eat mine, and it was stone cold because, believe it or not, Joey, it was about 0 degrees at 6 a.m. yesterday.
Oh, it was freaking freezing.
We needed your Joey gloves.
Yeah.
Your ski gloves that you wear fishing.
I love those ski gloves. These guys freaking laugh at my gloves when I go tuna fishing, but Dave's got like this steel cold rail, and naturally when you're going offshore and you're bouncing through the waves, well, what are you supposed to grab on? I'm not putting my naked bare hands on the cold steel bare bar to make my hands frozen, so I've got the ski gloves.
No, those are the money makers. You've got to look after them for plucking the base and
tapping the ass,
signing the contracts.
No, but I just love fishing in comfort. It's beautiful.
No, for sure.
I don't like
And
having cold hands.
Boy, were we comfortable yesterday.
Oh yeah. Well, so speaking of ski gloves, Dave was in his full snow outfit. He had his the snow pants, the snow jacket. The only thing missing was your snow gloves, which he did mention on the day.
Hey, another quick news flash. I've spoken to people at Aldi.
Yeah.
Aldi ski sale is not happening this year.
I heard.
Oh, COVID's cancelled ski season again.
Yeah.
They're bastards. Like, we look forward every year to that Aldi ski sale because that's where we get our new tuna pants and tuna clothes. $50 like for a pair of pants and things. Like, you can't go wrong.
Well, yeah. You know what? Like, you can't go wrong with the ski clothes in general. I just got mine from Anaconda, Joe, like $50 for a jacket, and I think the pants are about the same. And I can't say that like they're really much more ineffective than your fancy pants tuna overalls that make you look like a commercial tuna fisherman.
Well, is it 100% waterproof? Like, will water just beat off, or will it soak in?
The word I would use is wicking.
Yeah.
The water was just wicking away, Adrian.
Okay, wicking.
For the first few hours. Then it began to soak.
Because I had my wet weather gear on and it was repellent, like to any bit of water.
Repelling.
Yeah.
That's more impressive than wicking, I would say.
Yes. Repel versus wick. I'd go with repel all day long.
Yes.
Because
repulse even.
Yeah, once you get a bit of wet in your clothes, you're cold for the rest of the day.
Your day's over.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're ever looking for, like, I saw a great wet weather gear video from Yaya from Fishing Her Ass.
So far, it's going to be a wet week. Probably a wet month, they're saying. Anyway, you sit cards. I've got a special for you guys for this wet season. I've got fishing tackle. Got to do fishing gear. Rain jackets. I've got a whole pallet full of these things delivered today.
That $20, but yeah.
Dave wasn't impressed with your surprise audio on the
Was
Mon's
it
phone.
on the run sheet? Not sure that
Yeah.
one would have been okay, Joe.
Fishing R Us, apparently national-wide road show going all over the country, $20 for a freaking ski double-line ski jacket. There you go.
So I dare say Joey's sponsored by Fishing R Us. Thanks,
Seems
Joey.
that way.
I've just been enjoying the videos. It's great energy.
So we're going to
Great
get back.
energy.
We're going to get back to the barrel story. So Dave's wearing his ski outfit.
Oh,
And-
actually, before we move on from the
Yeah.
pies, I want to say the United Pie Face, their pie construction is the worst, and I think you might
did
have an input
mention
on this, Joey.
You mentioned this to me yesterday. I couldn't believe what you're saying.
Yeah.
A pie needs a thick crust bowl to hold the meat,
Yes.
and then a hat,
yes.
a lid.
So
Mhm.
how are they constructed? What makes them any different to how
They're
you
two
just suggested it?
hats. They're two hats squashed together,
What?
and the molten hot lava infill just bursts out the back
Oh.
willy nilly.
So it's two halves, not a traditional style pie.
I would say so.
Look, from Adrian's feedback, it's not like the filling was liquid hot magma.
No, but when it is, it makes a real mess.
Look, I tell you what it is, and I'm just going to go out on a limb here, but I've seen the boxes of pies stacked up in the freezer at Pie Face, and
Well,
classic,
I actually
Gordon.
built those freezers. So
Yeah, well, because classic Gordon Ramsay moment. What the fuck is this frozen shit? Like, if you got a frozen pie, of course it's going to just be exactly how you were just describing this. The filling will be different from the crust, and then the other intermediary pastry layer that's kind of a bit soft will be separated, and then there'll be a crispy hollow crust on the top. And it's just, but when you go to the football
Yeah.
and like 4 and 20 and Great Southern pies that they make, the pie's fresh that day. It's
are
just
you
a-
sure? Are you sure they're not frozen? And
Joe,
chucked
what
in
are
there?
you talking about?
I'm just saying a fresh pie, you're going to have a totally different experience.
when
And
you
they're
go to-
clearly frozen pies out of the United service station.
It's an engineering issue. Their core construction is wrong. The 4 and 20 frozen pie you can heat up and it's perfectly
Yeah.
fine.
This is the line Dave's on. You're on like frozen pies are no good.
It's not like an old pilchard where it goes soft. That's I think it's what we're dealing with here is a construction issue because it's two soft bits. Sandwich. We'll move on.
That's
so
really-
thanks
no,
for
no,
listening to our pie face
hearing,
construction.
I'm hearing you. That's really weird. I thought Pie Face just had regular pies. Like,
No,
I've
Joe.
never seen
No.
that sort of one.
Yes.
Maybe they were out of stock of the normal pies.
No. That's what they always have.
Yeah.
Go have a look.
So we got out to the entrance and it was quite windy, and I think we just like putted out to about 60 meters and saw some pretty awesome life, didn't we, Dave?
Look really good, but then
When we
we
got
went
there,
through it like once and it disappeared.
yeah.
Which,
And then we heard on the radio about 9 a.m. I'm on. Give me some room.
yes,
And we could see a couple of windscreens in a bit shallower, and we go, "Oh, that must be him," because it's loud and clear on the radio. So we make our way down there, and nothing's happening out there at all. Then we go to Cow Corner in that little area, and basically, it was the most amazing life you'd ever seen. There was about 40 gunnets just bombing down. There was whales, there was seals, there was
40.
more than 40. Dave's saying.
When you sent through a video, I could see in the background like nine gannets just
Yeah.
hammering the water.
Well, this was
behind you.
better than that because when we got there, we're like, "Oh, we're going to hook up once we get there." But what really stuffed us up was there was a whale watching boat out there,
Oh, yeah.
and he was on full noise to get over to this bait ball.
He didn't obey the laws of the sea, the etiquette,
Wait,
and he
wait.
went charging in there and just parked on our bait ball.
But is whale watching a normal business for this time of
Yeah,
year?
they pay
Yeah.
big money to have a license that allows them to go into sea mammals, where us regular folks aren't allowed to go 500 meters near a sea mammal.
So
Yeah.
there's two
Right.
big giant cat things that go out there just loaded with tourists.
I've seen the giant cat things are going off the knobbies and like they're looking at penguins and seals. Is it the same?
No,
place?
Yeah,
that's a different boat. They're the blow up Zodiac style ones that
No,
go
he's
to
talking.
Seal Rock.
No, it's the same boat.
Oh, is it?
We see him like sometimes we're going king
double
fishing
decker.
at Seal Rocks, yeah, and then
Yeah,
just see him come past.
Because they have those Zodiac style ones too that go out there.
They do. But
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Anyway, so just another thing you got to deal with now when you're tuna fishing: whale boats parking on top of your bait ball.
Yeah.
So we literally had to circle out at about a K away from them
Yeah.
and wait for them to get distracted by a whale off in the distance before we could go through our bait ball.
Could you like politely radio? Excuse me, sir. Could you please move over?
No, because it doesn't matter because there was whales on the bait ball, and if they see us near a whale, they'll take a photo of my red J, and I'll probably get some jail time. And,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Along with the
we had to wait for the whale to move away before we could go in.
Yeah.
I mean, ask the whale boat to move.
I asked the whale to move.
Yeah.
And he did.
Did you ask the whale boat to move?
No, but it doesn't matter. He's going to tell us to get away from the whale. So
Anyway,
they've got licenses to do that. So
that all died down.
Yeah.
And then this, I will call it the bait ball of glory
oh yeah,
came up.
this was like a AFL sized
Literally.
bait ball. Yeah,
Literally the size.
it was about
of
400 seals,
and a
600
football game.
dolphins.
Did you scoop up any baits?
Nah.
Or jigged up some little?
No, well, the bait was just in turmoil. It was just
Yeah.
scattered and getting eaten by every animal in the ocean.
What sort of bait do you reckon you're on?
Pilchards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
possibly.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
So,
unreal.
I think I sent you a video through, didn't I, Adrian?
I think so.
Was
Yeah.
anybody trying to catch them on bait out there?
Yes.
Yes, there was a guy there jigging with his baits up and down.
No, the problem with baiting the tuna is once someone stops there and starts stripping baits down, the bait ball just hides under their boat, and then
Oh,
you can't really get near it again. Is what I find. But
well, you know, you guys were marking them though. They seem to be on the move.
Yeah.
The barrels like all about the place.
they were. There was a few around.
Yeah.
But for some reason, so this giant bait ball, we had like 4 boats going through it. We all went through it about 10 times each, and then it was like,
We were working it for half an hour,
Yeah.
like 4 boats, and then we just kind of fizzled out to the outsides because we all got bored of it.
We're like, oh, there's obviously no fish on it.
Yeah.
And then these 2 guys went back through it, both hooked up at the same time.
Well, it's funny because what really turned it on was there was about 30 or 40 gannets that came out of nowhere. Like you'd see them flying over to the bait ball, and as soon as they started diving down, the boat went through. One boat, hook up. Second boat, goes through, hook up.
Oh,
And
geez.
I'm like, shit, the bait ball's going off. I'm going to jump on my radio. And we've asked them politely, do you reckon we can go in straight?
What was that?
I don't know. Siri on my phone just decided to talk.
Siri wanted in on the podcast.
Yeah, so we asked if we were allowed to go straight, and he goes, no, you guys are right. And literally we see on the sounder 1, 2, 3 barrels light up, and then the rod just cracks off, and we're like, we're on.
It cracked off, Joey.
Oh,
It was a
unreal.
very exciting moment. So we had 3 boats hooked up,
Yeah.
and the end result was everyone lost them.
Can you believe that, Joey? So there was about 5 or 6 hookups yesterday, and not one landed.
No way.
Yes, way.
Anyway,
It's unheard of.
We were actually locked and loaded for about half an hour.
Yeah.
Had colour on the fish, had it like about 20 meters up on the surface behind the boat. And then it bit us off.
It did.
200-pound leader, and it bit us off. About a third of the way up the trace, there was chafes and then clean bite off where it had scissored off in its jaw, which is, quite an unusual way to lose them. But, so during the fight, we noted that the line was kind of vibrating, which obviously was the line.
Here's the hookup.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there was another video that we had too that was quite depressing. That Dave really doesn't want to watch again.
Watch this.
But we're going to watch it again.
Oh,
Look at his face.
he just pulled.
Look at me. I was very comfortable just sitting on the side of the boat driving you
His
around.
face
Yeah,
is
just play it again.
Oh, you want me to play it
That was
again?
very quick.
Oh,
Oh, it was very jiggly, the
he
rod
just
tip.
pulled.
Yeah,
Look
so
at his face. It's just like,
I was like, you disgust me.
Yeah.
So the line was very vibrating, which was obviously the leader running over the teeth of the tuna.
Yeah.
And got through that thick leader and won its freedom. But that is big tuna fishing. You're never going to land 100% of it. And we've had a good run lately.
we actually have landed 100% of them besides yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
So did you end up having footage of that bait ball? That was pretty cool to see.
oh, yeah. It's not on the
no,
files
don't
that you
worry
sent
about it.
me.
It's too hard. I did send it.
You
but,
got any stick pros?
what is that?
stick GoPro?
No,
Oh,
no.
no. We were far too busy. A
Had,
lot going on in a little boat, you know, Joey.
had a bit on.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
definitely.
You should have. I should have been aboard and made another nacho bust up on the
that would have
on
been
the
good.
seat. It would have
You-
been good amongst
Sure,
the
you would have
madness.
done it at the most inappropriate time.
We did have Paul Naylor say, "Year of the Tuna." I like that, but with petrol prices where they are, I'm glad you are getting rewarded for the theft at the Bowsers, guys.
Oh, I know.
I wouldn't say rewarded, but we did get the
Oh.
bite, but we
Oh.
didn't come home.
Every
with-
time I go into that server, I like to tease the guy about
Yeah.
ripping us off, and he just kind of looks at me blankly and gives a slight giggle. I'm like, yeah, laugh it up, mate. You're ruining our lives.
We might get some reprieve on petrol prices. So if you've been listening to the world news, apparently Friday Australia time, Russia is supposed to turn back on the Nord Stream 3 gas pipeline back to Germany. Russia is actually the third largest exporter of oil
That's great.
to the world.
Great info.
So if Putin switches on the Nord Stream 3 back to Germany, maybe we might see a bit of reprieve in oil. and
Well, we
gas
do
prices.
have, if you want to get that technical, we do have oil rigs out here. Why don't we just use our own oil?
They're actually pulling them all down.
Yes.
And I think most of our ones are gas, and they're very old.
Natural gas, yeah.
So, but it has been stated that they might leave the infrastructure below the sea floor there. These are the oil rigs off Lakes Entrance.
Yeah.
As a habitat for marine life. Like, can you imagine how good the fishing would be around? So all the legs and the steel below the sea floor
Yeah.
would still be there. Could you imagine how good the fishing would be there?
Well, there's no jerk on a platform telling you to keep away from the thing if there's no platforms.
Now we got Shane Lowry asking Joey. This is what he's saying. He said, "I'd like to hear about Joey's lobster diving adventure in Port Fairy." Joey, can you tell us about this?
Hang on, Shane, can you send us a Southwest fishing report, by the way? I was going to ask you, but just figured that you wouldn't do it again. But yeah, send one through.
Oh, look, it was a long time ago. I think it was 2015, 2016. Shane is quite a proficient free diver on the southwest coast.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try my hand at lobster free diving. So, look, I'm not a bad swimmer, but yeah, I'm no expert by any means. So you always go with somebody who knows what they're doing.
So what kind of depth is he taking you in? Is he throwing you in the deep end straight away?
Oh, look, Shane he was very responsible. He did a good job. I was a bit scared of being exposed to the ocean, but he took us to this beautiful, nice beach in Port Fairy. Just beautiful yellow sand. Look, had a bit of a nice alcove. Like it wasn't fully exposed to the ocean, as I recall. And we took the snorkels and the wetsuits, and we went diving. And like literally, I'm watching Shane. I'm sort of above, because I could not equalize. And equalizing is obviously when you're trying to dive sort of below 2 to 3 meters, the pressure of the water starts to sort of crush your skull. You have to do is you have to either release that pressure from your skull being crushed to a pulp, either by blowing air through.
You hold your nose in your blow, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So, Shane's very, very good at that. But I watched him go down. So I'm sort of hovering at the top, and I watched Shane go down into this rocky alcove, and literally with his bare hands, he's able to, he's just looking at this rocky ledge, and he's just looking for the little crayfish.
Those little feelers.
Yeah, and he can see them.
He's like, ah.
That's exactly that's exactly it. And just with his bare hands, he just grabs those. He just grabs those little lobster tentacles and just pulls them out. And I just watched Shane pluck two crayfish from this rocky alcove, and I just held the bag like a good bag man, and he just dumped them in the bag. And,
Joey, I do have an update. I heard Joey floated around like a bull seal and held the bag open while I stuffed it with lobsters.
Well, I was going to say
that's exactly what I did.
I had the exact same thing the first time I went cray diving. Yeah. I actually had like a bit of a cold, probably COVID. It was like 10 years ago, probably COVID, and I couldn't equalize properly either. But you know what? I thought, geez, I
am the bag
if a
holder.
shark is here, is going to hit me because I'm flapping around on top like a wounded seal.
With a bag full of meat.
So I just forced my way down there and got in amongst the crevices because I figured, you know what, the shark's going to hit the person flapping around on top
That is
before
true.
the guys that are in the caves and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, Joey's been looking like a bull seal on the surface with a bag of meat. I think I'm going to attack Joey.
Yeah.
And then someone hiding down in the crevices in those little rocks.
I'll tell you something also that happened interesting on that trip that happened. You know, you guys have obviously been seasick before or felt seasick.
Oh yeah, we've had some experiences on the shelf.
Yeah, so like, you know, I always thought, okay, well, if you were in the water, surely you can't get seasick. And there was a little bit of swell rolling through there, and I was just sort of bobbing around on the surface. And I actually was playing music the night before in Warrnambool. I stayed at the Comfort Inn, and I had a beautiful continental breakfast before I went cray diving.
No,
and
you never stuff your guts before you go diving.
yeah, well, I stuffed my guts, and boy, howdy, did that continental breakfast just get sprayed all over the place while I was holding a bag full
Barely
of
up the joint.
holding a bag full of lobsters floating around on the surface.
And you know what Port Fairy is quite famous for, especially in the summertime? The big whites.
Yep.
They are a very common sight down that way.
It was about November, I think. Yeah.
I had the same thing. I was snorkeling on the edge of the coral reef in Fiji with my wife.
Yep.
And she got seasick. And it was like vomit fountain out the top of the snorkel.
What? Through the snorkel? Are you being serious? She didn't take the snorkel off?
Spurting out the snorkel.
I would never, I just wouldn't think, okay, you're in the water. Like, you can't get seasick. You're one with the water. But there you go.
No, apparently you can.
Shane's telling us, Dave, we call you inexperienced guys. We call you guys distracting shark burly. So,
as long as I get those tasty crays, I'm willing to lose a limb on behalf of the team. Yeah,
That's
so
good
can we
times.
circle back?
yeah.
We've just completely missed my actual barrel success.
Yes.
Because Adrian wanted to talk about his failure so badly. So,
Well, we wanted to talk more about pie construction than anything, but
yeah, that was pretty good. But yeah, so because we didn't record last week, the weekend before, I actually had a bit of a win.
Yes, I
Me
heard
and,
you had
old
a
mate
win.
Kevin Bahaju went out
And
here, and we got one.
And this did come about in fuel prices. You're trying to find a crew. You couldn't get me.
Oh,
You couldn't
Yes.
get Joey. You couldn't get your brothers. And
Actually, not true. I wasn't going to go. Then my brother Tom was like, "Oh yeah, no, let's go. I'll come." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So I got reinvigorated.
Yeah.
Also because our mate Rodney got one.
Yeah.
So that fired me up again a little bit. And then he was like at some sort of like party thing, and I think as the night wore on, he got less interested. So he ended up not coming.
Yeah.
But yes, there's Rodney's fish you've just put up there. 119 kilo or something like
yeah,
that.
119 kilo. I think it went 190 centimeter short length.
Yeah, no, that's
There it is
awesome.
there. Beautiful fish.
Rodney
Oh,
and,
wow.
And his son
and
Nick.
his son Nico out on the bluefin hunt, which is awesome. Nico's a little champ. He was on the
He was on the wheel. He was
while
driving
Dad-
it around like a champion.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, so me and Kev was actually there, I think, weighing Rodney's fish because he's the weighman. What do you got, Joe?
that's all right. Keep talking.
So yeah, so then I messaged Kev, who we don't talk that often, but like we always sort of stay in touch and we do fish every now and then. And he was like, "Yeah, I'll come." So I gave him the chauffeured service, Adrian.
Yeah, you did.
I launched at Stony Point. By the way, how much do you think it cost to fill the Eden Craft up?
The
before I went
Eden
out?
Craft, was it completely dry?
I think about 170 liters or something.
170 litres. I'm just going to times that by 2.2. So we're going to say about $400.
Yeah, 420 it was.
Oh, 420, smoking up. You're a midnight
and I
toker.
did not blaze it up.
Well, you
Um,
definitely blazed the money in your wallet up.
So it was upsetting. So yeah, I launched at Stony because Kev lives at Traralgon, so I wasn't going to make him drive around to Stony.
Yeah.
So I picked him up from San Remo.
Yeah.
He was a bit late,
So-
just quietly,
So you went
45 minutes late.
45 minutes late.
And I will never
Hang
get
on,
that sleep
hang
back
on,
because
Joey.
I have a newborn baby at home.
Right, I love
So
that.
you invite someone fishing on your boat and you say, be here at this time, and it gets 10 minutes late, 20 minutes late. Do you keep waiting or do you go about your fishing day?
Yeah, well, I would have called.
You would have called it?
I would have called it. No, I would have called and said I was running late.
No, he
or-
did. Yeah, he called me.
Oh, okay.
What he said, I'm
Yeah.
going to be 45 minutes late.
He said I'm running. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
What did he say? I'm just running 10 minutes late and 10 became
No, he
45.
said his location, and I was like, oh yeah, that's about that far. That's a while away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't have cared, Adrian.
Nah.
But the fact is, I could have slept that 45
Yeah,
minutes.
that's right.
And when you've got a newborn at home,
Oh, yeah,
that's,
we know about it.
you'll never get that back again.
No.
So anyway, yeah, Kev jumped on and we ran down towards Inverloch there, and I don't know what Joe's doing. He's up to no good over here. And yeah, bloody going off down there. It was a lot of fish coming through on the depth sounder and a lot of life and a lot of boats. And the depth sounder.
Yeah.
And then around 2:00, a bit of a flick got switched. We hooked up, and we were all set.
Now, what happened is you're marking all these great things first, and you're sending all these photos to us. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
geez,
Yeah.
this is amazing life. I've never seen this many barrels locally,
No.
like in sounding
It was
shots.
crazy.
Well, like the thing that I took away from those sounding shots, like you had
I think I sent you a photo of one.
You
Adrian.
did.
you had the barrels, they were at all depths. And like first you sent me through, they were 10
look-
meters
have a look at
down,
this
then they were
one.
20 meters down. But like they were all over the
So
place.
on top here, that's probably seals and dolphins.
That's dolphins.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how mine marks those dolphins up. And then these are definite big
Yep.
fish eating some
About
kind
8
of ball
of
of pilchard.
About 8 of them.
Yeah.
On the side of a ball of pilchards. Yeah.
And-
So we hooked up, and
Which I've
The-
actually got a footage of the hookup.
do
So,
you?
yeah. Look at this.
Got it on the Talika.
The old school Talika. No, Tunos.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so but the funny thing is it took the shotgun rod, which is the one we run out of the rocket launcher, which
Yeah.
is the high up position, because obviously we want to get it.
Oh,
we want
dear.
height on that lure.
Oh, no.
Now I'm real tall.
Kev's about 5
Kev's
foot.
Kev's not tall.
You're about 6'6".
Yeah.
And Kevin's about 5 foot, maybe 4.
Yeah,
Would you say?
maybe. I don't know. He'll correct you if
Yeah.
he's taller than that for
Okay.
sure. But anyway, so logically, I should probably be getting the high up rod out of the rod holder.
Yeah.
But Kev thought, no, I'll do it. And
Yeah.
it's really bloody hard getting a loaded up rod with like 10 kilo of drag out of that rod holder.
What
It
I
rips you to
find
the
what
back
you
of the boat.
do from having marlin hookups in there, you got to hold on to the rocket launcher with one hand and get ready to get flung. And so you still got something to hold on to, and then you lower yourself down by
Yeah.
holding the loaded rod.
I usually back it off slightly, so I got less pressure on it, which
Yeah.
is risky. But
It's
anyway,
hard
so,
to do that in the heat of the moment, though.
so Kev gets pulled backwards, like you're saying, and absolutely wrenched onto the floor of the boat.
Yeah.
Lands on the 2 casting rods that are in the rod holders.
Oh, no.
Snaps my one.
Your brand new rod snapped.
My-
You're kidding me.
Yeah, my casting rod.
You just got that.
Yeah, it's all right. They make more of them.
Yeah.
Snaps to the casting rod. He's got a treble in his jacket.
So he's hooked onto another rod.
And he's going, oh God, that hurt. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Let's just get this fish in.
Yeah.
Anyway, I found out the other day, like he had X-rays and everything. He thought he had a cracked rib. So he's like, I've never been in so much pain ever.
Yeah.
So it
Really?
wasn't a cracked rib, but I think it was like really badly bruised or whatever.
Wow.
So the plan was, me and him discussed that we wanted to release this fish, but yeah, as luck would have it, it swallowed the lure really deep,
Yeah.
and literally after 10 minutes of fighting it, popped up, blood everywhere, just lifeless, and we brought it into the boat, and that was all she wrote. We obviously took it home to eat it. He just came up, legit, no shit, got the tag pole up there ready to go. He just came up stone cold dead.
And the interesting thing as well, like you could have lost that fish if it was swallowed. Like the tuna's just biting straight down on the
Yeah.
leader if it's got the hook right down its throat.
Yeah, well, actually, I brought last week. I had the lure in my car. I was going to
I
bring
wanted
it.
to see the chafe.
What was your leader like?
Yeah, the leader was trashed.
So you probably would have
We've-
lost it if it'd been a
After-
long fight.
Yeah, after only
20
10
minutes.
minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes.
So yeah, if you ever look at a big tuna's teeth, they're sharp.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So
Well, you look at their diet; they eat quite soft fish and stuff. Like they're not scourging on the bottom eating rock things, are they?
yeah. Well, actually, the funny thing is, so we've found some funny things in tuna stomachs over the years. I know Jonah's had some funny stuff too. He's had calamari and crabs and all sorts of stuff in there.
Crabs.
Yes, and
Wow.
we've had the nautilus and
Mhm.
so Rodney's one the other day had pilchards, pretty normal. Arrow squid, pretty normal. Barracuda, pretty normal. It had a leather jacket in its
What,
stomach.
like a leather jacket or an ocean jacket?
I think a leather jacket.
Like a six spine.
Yeah, like the ones that cruise on the bottom.
Yeah, right.
So
Oh,
full
wow.
on mooching along the bottoms.
That's
Some
crazy.
poor unsuspecting leather jacket's just been nailed. So yeah, just goes to show like they're they'll eat a variety of stuff, and like the lure Rodney was using,
yeah.
it's this thing called a salt shaker, Joe. It's like 16 inches long.
You use these as marlin teasers.
The head of it is like a baby's fist.
What it was a giant. It was a giant lure.
yeah, it's
massive
like
lure.
a blue marlin lure. Basically.
Wow.
And they eat them.
Yeah.
Like you would look at that and go, no way, tuna's eating that. But just
Dave describes it as towing a bucket behind
it's
the
like
boat.
towing a small bucket, Joe. Yeah, so like, yeah, it just goes to show they'll eat a variety of stuff for sure. So yeah,
No, congrats, guys, on catching because that's
some solid fishing.
that was
Last-
like a week ago.
yeah.
And because we didn't podcast, yeah.
We've had two near success days in a row. So,
So there it is, beautiful local Jumbie.
101.7, I believe it weighed on the Weighmaster scales back at
Yeah,
Terrelgan.
and that would be certified because that's for our game club, Latrobe Valley Game Fishing Club. So if you're not in a game club, get down to Latrobe Valley Game Fishing Club.
Your ones here are certified though. You checked them the other
Yeah,
day.
yeah, they are. Yeah.
And yeah, so highly accurate readings. But yeah, so crack a day out. Always, like it's just surreal to be getting them in these areas that we're getting them. I don't think we'll get sick of that for a long time, and we may never have to go to the southwest coast again, Joey.
We might not have to return to the Mac.
We may not have to.
Joey just wants us to play that song.
Love
Like-
that song.
Return to the Mac.
Once again,
I won't sing anymore, I promise.
you know that I'll be back.
Oh shit!
So good stuff, Joe. So yeah, so that's basically our fishing for the last few weeks. But you've got
It is.
a massive update, Adrian.
Oh yeah, I do. Joey's probably unaware of this,
He probably doesn't even know.
but I've just decided out of the blue, like I do everything. I just make up my mind. I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up one morning and
Impulsive,
go, yeah, I'm very impulsive.
Mm.
Maybe it's because I got ADD or something. No,
undiagnosed,
yeah, undiagnosed.
but we're pretty sure.
Oh shit, Dave. Yeah. So what I've done, I've just decided I'll make a custom tinny center console, 5.2 meter.
Oh wow!
We're
Yeah.
getting a new
It's a-
showboat,
Yep,
Joey.
the wind against tide boat. So anyone, motor companies out there that want to chip away,
Well,
help
we've
us
got old mate Dave Meehan from Mercury.
I did give him a call and he may help out. So we'll see what happens. But
Yes.
he goes 150 Pro Access will get that thing humming.
we want
Wow.
to be humming.
Yeah, that's great.
So, yeah, so it's a 5.2 meter.
Do you know how to weld?
No, well, I'm getting a welder who actually makes these boats.
I'll weld it for you, Adrian.
So Steve's Custom Welding in Carrum Downs.
Yep.
He's probably going to help out a bit for the show too. So we welcome him on.
So,
Adrian's trying to get some discounts.
where do you get the blueprints on how
Well,
to design the hull?
Well, he's got his own people where he's designed his own hulls. It's called SCW Custom Plate Hulls,
Okay.
which is Steve Custom Welding.
So he'd get like a marine surveyor. No, what are they
Yeah,
called? Architect.
yeah, he's got an architect that's
Yeah.
all involved with the 18-degree dead risers. The thing's going to be a weapon.
Is it going to be a hard top?
No, it's center console.
Oh.
I like being able to cast around the boat.
Yeah, it is good.
I've enjoyed my 420, but I think it's time to go slightly larger.
We've
We've
pushed the limits.
pushed the limits on that
Mm.
boat.
Can I buy your motor when you upgrade again?
Well, I was just going to sell the whole boat.
Pretty sure that being a real estate agent, you'd probably understand the boat's more saleable if it has an engine attached to it, Joe.
No, because I missed out on the last engine that sold off. I thought maybe
Yeah.
just the
No, well, you had first dibs, and I think I said I don't know. I said some ridiculous price, and you kind of, and I end up getting more than that from
Just trade-in.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
It was a very fair price for
Yeah.
that. It was not just my decision, but I still my other deciding person in that buying that engine. I still remind him should have bought Adrian's.
Yeah, so it's very exciting, Joey. Like
It is.
when it starts getting made towards the end of the year, I'm going to start doing some video logs on it, and yeah, it's going to be awesome to watch this thing come from a sheet of metal to a full blown weapon on the water.
Yes, so this is the show boat, everyone.
Yeah, it's
so
going to be a
if-
win against tide boat.
So
Get it
everyone
wrapped.
out there that wants to have some input on this boat, now is your chance. Anything you think it needs to have, Adrian's already decided it's having an inbuilt pie oven in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Well, mine's basically inbuilt now. It's just on the floor.
Make it
purpose-built rack.
like more powerful than the 12-volt job.
No, they're actually quite good.
Let's put a house
I,
oven.
th- I think the secret to having pies warm all day long is you buy them from the pie warmer from a bakery or a service station already, and then you just maintain them at a temperature so they're ready to eat all day long.
Okay.
Correct?
So
Yeah.
not from frozen.
No, you don't. No, that takes too long.
No, it's all right if you preheat the oven for ages. Once you
Yeah.
get it hot, it's all right. It just takes forever to heat up.
Victor's saying it needs an umbrella, the new boat.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
Victor.
Oh, can you get one of those rod
Like a golf umbrella.
No, one of those rod holder like Webbers? Like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You've seen them?
That's
that would be
happening.
Can we build a spit roast thing on it?
because it like the one that when it's up on the gunnel, like it's sort of out of the way and it's at perfect serving height.
Yeah.
And I think like molten hot coals near a giant tank of fuel is probably quite safe.
I still got a great
it's going to
business
have a
idea.
200 litre fuel tank. But Joey, what it's going to have a center console wide enough for two 12-inch or 16-inch screens, right? It's going to have a double seat at the back, which can flip back and forward, the backrest bit.
Yep.
And at the front of the console, it's going to have a box seat. So it's going to be able to easily fish 4 people comfortably.
Oh, can I make another suggestion
Yeah.
as well? Can you order some bird radar?
Oh, how handy would it be?
Have you
Well,
seen,
that
have
meant
you
I
seen
had to
that
do a
giant?
T-top. I don't know if I want a T-top.
Have you seen the giant Faruno? I'm sorry, it's a brand name, but I've seen a great video of the huge radar, and it picks up birds. Like, can you imagine if you were able to pick up birds from not so far away, up to 40 k's away?
Oh, it'd be bloody amazing.
Yeah.
You could pick
I think the higher the radar is, the more responsive it is. Like being in a center console,
You
I don't
could-
think your T-top's going to be that high, is
you
it?
could mount it on like a hat and I'll wear it.
Yeah.
A hat. We'll get good height out of it.
Hey, we got an update about the oven.
Yeah.
Bose said trick is to run a 13.8 volt regulator.
There you
So-
go. I told
So
you.
the oven will run heaps better.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Oh,
There we
shit.
go.
Right. Yeah.
so we just got to get one of those little things from 4-wheel drive Supercenter.
Yeah.
Wire that in and
Their stuff
gotta-
normally breaks. But okay.
yes.
Hey, just a quick, you ever done snags in the oven?
No.
No, we normally have the Weber.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
we
it's-
do, in snapper season, we take the Weber queue, the baby Weber queue, and we cook some mean barbecues, don't we, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Here's
Oh,
my
I
business
can't wait
idea.
for that.
Here's my business idea. I've always said this, being snapper fishing Port Phillip Bay in the middle of November. Imagine if you did a sausage sizzle off like Patterson Lakes, right?
It's
A sausage
moving
sizzle,
food truck.
and you could just go from boat to boat, like 2 snags. for-
Caramart official, you'd have at least 400 customers.
What you,
You
do
would.
is you just park yourself upwind of the whole flotilla of boats and just waft the smell back at them.
Yeah.
You could go from boat to boat and sell a couple of snags. I reckon you do a tidy afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that snapper season. Chops and snags on the barbecue. That's always a win.
Love it.
So, yeah, if anyone has any more input on the showboat, it'll be very and also
Yeah. What do you got?
the world's most famous Renegade will be on the market. Adrian's
Yes.
going to sign it.
You know, if we get enough sponsors on board, giveaway. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Dave.
I'm tipping that won't be happening.
Maybe you could have a fishing competition, and the winner wins the boat.
Anyway,
speaking of-
here's what the boat kind of looks like without a console, but that is actually one of Steve's jobs.
oh, yeah,
nice.
there's a spot for the spit roast up the front there. I can
Yes,
see.
there is. That's not my one, but yeah. Oh, Bo said he'll chip in a lithium battery. Thank you, Bo. Bo's going to be a sponsor of the new showboat.
Oh, there you go.
We got
Aren't
a
lithium
lithium
ones the ones that explode.
If you wire them wrong, with a
That's us.
AGM battery.
Oh, hang on. There's a mega story from yesterday's fishing regarding tin boats.
Yes, that's what I was
Oh.
Yes.
Are you talking about lithium in tin boats?
No.
No.
An attempted trip from one Brendan Wing.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
so
yeah. Brendan Wings returned to fishing as of
Yes.
yesterday. We were very happy he's returned to fishing.
Yeah.
He did his classic late arvo FOMO roll.
yes,
And,
because he saw us hook up. We had
he's
the
like-
greatest mammal life you'd ever seen.
He's like, I'm charging out the heads, boys. I can nearly see you. And we're like, oh yeah, no, we'll see him, the little black tinny coming across soon.
Yes.
An hour goes by and we're like, where is
Si-
he? Has he gone the wrong way or
Like, we're
something?
not far from the entrance. Where are you, Brendan?
And he's like, oh no, boys, I've sprung a leak.
Well, like, what do you mean? You've been out for like an hour.
Yeah.
Have you sprung a leak?
And he scurried his way back to port. So apparently in
Was
the
he sitting a bit low in the water?
well, we never saw him. He never came to visual range because he was sinking to the point where he had to turn around.
Oh,
before he got
classic
to us.
winger. He just hams it up to me. He's like, "Oh yeah, Joey, I basically came right up to them, and
We
then
did not see
I
him.
realised I sprung." He's Donald Trumped it.
Yeah, so he's scurried his way back to port. He reckons when he's repainted his boat or whatever, he's had all the fittings out and they haven't been put back in right or
Yeah.
But yeah, so your classic fishing chip there from Brendan. So he was going to fill the thing up with water today to see where that leak had been sprung.
Well, he said he was going to go. Oh no, I'm going home tonight. I'm going to figure it out. And then there was some late night texting. He's like, "How'd you go at the leak?" He's like, "Nah, just washed it."
No, that was today's job to discover what was going on there. Now some sad news this week.
Oh, sad
Oh.
news. What's happened?
The mighty white whale.
Migaloo, not Migaloo. Don't tell me
Wow.
Migaloo's dead.
For some reason, everyone was more worried it was Migaloo than this other poor nameless white whale.
How dare they?
I know. A white humpback washed
Because
up
it's
dead.
not
Malagueta.
named.
I know.
So they called it Jane or something.
All whales matter.
Jane Doe.
So, yeah, this big white humpback is washed up on the beach at Malagueta and was feared to be Migaloo, the famous white whale.
It was feared, though, allegedly feared that it was Migaloo.
Yes, it was feared that it was Migaloo. Then when everyone realised it was some no-namer, they breathed a sigh of relief. So,
A bit of sigh of relief, but an unseen whale, white, I guess, platinum humpback whale, they don't care now.
no, we're not
Because
worried
it's not
about that one.
Migaloo.
But yeah, very sad
Migaloo the
news.
Great.
Yeah, good old whale season.
Mm.
Good input, Joe. Thanks for that. Joe, you got a holiday coming up, I hear.
I do, guys. I got a very exciting holiday. It's your classic 5 nights away with the family.
Well, you're actually going with the family.
Yeah, I'm going with the family. It's my
Mum, dad,
yeah,
you got a sister.
mum, dad, sister, her boyfriend. It's my dear aunt's 70th birthday, and it's Bina's birthday, so it's going to be a great week of family stuff. But you know, when you go to an exotic destination, there's always
Exotic, eh?
there's always that temptation to find somewhere nice to go fishing, and you know, you also got to be mindful of the time. Look, generally, when I do on family holidays and I experience saltwater fishing, I'm bitterly disappointed. So I thought of a great idea this time. We're going to Thailand, and I've decided to do some freshwater fishing in those man-made commercial lakes over there. And
You're going to a fish farm.
He's going to basically an aquarium. He's allowed to put a rod in.
what's wrong with that?
He's going to Cheatman's Pond.
Cheatman's Pond. So, Joey,
If
if
you,
I don't see like a picture of you like this,
that's exactly what I'm planning to do.
Shirtless with a
yes,
shirtless with a
probably
couple of
Thai
other guys.
boys, Thai girls, Thai lady boys.
Probably not with that many guys in the water, but there will not be. I'm gonna
Joe-
carry the fish myself. There's gonna be no other guys in the water.
Get away.
What
Joe's
about
like-
a lady boy? You got to hold a fish with a lady boy.
Adrian.
What? That's the thing there. Have you never been to a ping pong show?
Look, Adrian,
They're quite exotic. I've seen turtles,
there's-
goldfish.
Oh dear.
there's a list of amazing species to catch in
Yeah.
these man-made lakes.
In an aquarium, yep.
So we've got the mighty arapaima, If anybody watched River
Oh my
Mon-
God, Brendan's joined us on the chat. He
Yeah.
said he's here and he's called it Cheapman's Pond.
Yeah, I knew he would have liked that. So you got the mighty arapaima,
Yeah.
grows up to 140 kilos, right? If you've ever watched River Monsters, like the story on that River Monsters episode was there was some Amazonian tribal guy that fell out of his canoe and they couldn't find him, and it was suspected that the arapaima ate him. And then-
I'm guessing it was a stingray.
I think arapamas are renowned for having a really hard skull.
They
Don't
do.
they like headbutt people to death?
Yeah. There's a famous Instagram reel of some fella he's got a dead fish in his mouth and he's leant into an arapaima pond, and it's literally like a gunshot just going off, bang.
Out cold.
And he knocked this fella out cold, and he fell face first into the arapaima pond. But arapaima, 140 kilos. You love to catch one of them. There's
My
re-
office door's just open.
There's
Like,
a ghost in
Right.
the studio. The door just opened itself.
and there's also pizza here as well.
Pizza delivery. Wow, hey, that's
Wow,
exciting.
that's great. Red tail catfish up to 50 kilos. They're actually, some people have them in aquariums. Got the great Mekong catfish, which is like a big silver catfish as well, up to 100 kilos. You also got the freshwater gar. They've got freshwater gars up to 100
Those are
kilos.
things you get in like Mississippi. They
Yeah.
look like garfish and an alligator.
Giant long
Yeah,
heads.
alligator gar. That's exactly
alligator
right.
head and
Yep.
it's garfish body.
That's it, and like they're really popular. It's basically like coarse fishing. If anybody's a carp fisherman, they're like brown murky ponds. They've got like fish meal, and they also use this byproduct. Well, they've got this byproduct of rice, and they mix it with
aniseed.
fish oils, garlic, and bits of hucked up fish, and they make these golf balls.
Yeah,
And you
It's
literally chuck it out on a big float, and it's very exciting. I can't wait to do
This
it.
is like going for basically in England when they go for their carp, they have those big balls with a hook dangling above it or whatever.
That's exactly what it is, under a float. I love float fishing. Some of my earliest childhood memories of float fishing is fantastic. So
So what one species in this fishing aquarium is your number one that you're after? Your King Kong Donkey Kong.
my King Kong, Donkey Kong, praying hope I get.
King Kong, Donkey Kong.
Oh, thanks, Suraj. They've got Atlantic tarpon.
Isn't tarpon like a saltwater fish?
It's so the best place to catch a giant tarpon's in Florida Keys in the USA, but in Thailand they have been stocking these commercial fishing lakes with tarpon. I've read somewhere
They're
that
like a brackish water fish, are they? Or
well, I think they can do saltwater and freshwater. I'm not too sure. Maybe Jonah can correct me, but yeah. They've only been stocking them as of 2010. Apparently, very hard to catch, and like the fishing masters haven't figured out, and the lake owners haven't figured out what's the best way to catch them. But they're apparently in there. So I'd love to catch a tarpon.
So Dave's got a special guest on, Joey. Sorry to cut you short, but
Hey,
there is a young Samuel on the podcast.
there's a bear in there.
What do you got to say, buddy? Good chat. Yeah, so I'm just going to hand the baby back to his mum. He's got my cord. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, so Joe's been trying to tell us that it's actually really hard. He's like, I'm like, oh, it's like a trout farm. Then he's like, no, there's not many in there. It's like really
He's basically saying it's like a trout farm. They got like aniseed, massive fish feed into a bowl.
Oh,
with a
look, I only
hook.
just rattled off a couple of names,
Yeah.
but apparently there's barramundi in there, but you wouldn't go to Thailand.
What about
to catch
Nile
barramundi.
perch?
I'm not sure. There's paku, there's Siamese carp,
What about a
Um,
big freshwater tiger fish?
there's snakeheads. It's another river monster special.
Yeah. What about the
Are you
Thailand?
taking some GoPros for us?
I'd be very, very more than welcome to. So yeah, send some GoPros with me. But yeah, freshwater fishing park in Thailand. Looking forward to doing that and sharing some wonderful stories with you. That's happening first week of August. So about mid-August, I'll have a report for you guys.
Oh, thanks, Joey. So
Yeah.
we're looking about a month away for our first international report.
Mm.
Well, from Thailand, anyway.
That's it.
So, Adrian, you just played our King Kong Donkey Kong audio there
Yeah.
before. The big news is,
Yes.
well, it's not that big a news, but our mate Brendan from Field and Stream has done us a ripper King Kong Donkey Kong hoodie design.
He actually has, because we kind of came up with the same idea with a gorilla holding a kingfish for this, and he's brought our
I love this.
ideas into fruition.
It's like he's
here,
seen
so,
our mind's
yeah.
eye and just drawn it.
So have a look at this. This is going to be our new hoodie.
Can you zoom up on that at all?
Zoom up.
That's it. Yeah, a bit more.
How good is that?
How good is that?
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a pre-order. So if anybody wants to get their hands on one, it's also going to have a cool logo on the front. Front
Win against Tide
heck.
on the front.
Hi, Sam. Very excited.
Dave, shut up and take my money.
Yes. So we're going to do a pre-order of the hoodie. So if anyone is interested in one,
just message us on Instagram.
with the size.
Yeah, with your size and your color. I guess there'll be.
No, they're all black.
Oh, they're all
They
black.
don't get a choice.
I'm going to get a grey one.
Is there going to be a
myself.
hat?
Fine. Message us your color.
Yeah.
What about a hat?
Maybe. Let's just get the hoodies done. So we don't know the price yet. We're not going to put any money on it. We're literally just going to charge whatever it costs to make and some postage.
Yeah.
Because we're not doing it to make money. We're doing it for the Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
So yeah, hit us up
for our brand.
Now, I'm not going to go through all the boring reports I've written here, but I will go through our sent in ones.
Yes. What do you got sent in?
So Simon Webster, our man in Gippsland, has sent through an absolute ripper. So this is encompasses the last couple of weeks. So hold on to your hats, people. Get ready to rumble, because here it goes.
I'm sure we can do toddler hoodies too. Someone's asking for toddler ones.
Sammy's very excited about the hoodies.
Yeah.
Now, the Gippy report. You haven't played my intro, Adrian.
Oh, sorry.
Hookup. Welcome to the hookup. Now, the last couple of weeks have seen anglers landing some big winter black bream in the local rivers between Bairnsdale and Swan Reach. The Nicholson River has been a standout with
So
both.
speaking of black bream quickly, I saw a record capture the other day. This one
Did you?
bloke caught 450 bream and obviously got caught by fisheries.
Was
you
that
not see that?
bream or pinkies?
No, it was bream.
Oh, I thought it was pinkies.
Yeah, it looked like pinkies, but they're kind of the same animal.
Yeah, you shouldn't laugh.
450 odd bream.
That's very bad.
Yeah.
Regularly seeing fish over 40 centimeters. Fish have been caught on both sides of the highway bridge. Many of the fish are being taken through the middle of the day, with patient anglers getting the results. Sammy! Yeah, the little boy is going off. Fish are being, many of the fish are being taken through the middle of the day, with patient anglers getting results. I've already read that. The Twin Rivers Fishing Comp was on over the weekend, with close to 450 fish entered in the catch and release comp. No huge croakers entered, with largest fish being 43 centimeters fork, and overall best 5 fish measuring around 205 centimeters combined. In general, the fishing was far tougher than in previous weeks. One standout fish was caught the week prior in the Mitchell, with a 49.5 centimeter tip measurement also. Good gummies being caught off Cape Conran when weather allows it, although the ramp had sand build up, which was making launching and retrieving more difficult. May have been cleaned up by now. Some nice gummies still being landed by those in the know at McLaughlin's. Oh dear. Oh dear. The young boy is tired. May have been, where was that? McLaughlin's salmon still being landed in Eastern Beach in lakes, with one lucky angler posting pictures of 2 fish on one lure. Whiting still about, but a bit hit and miss. Most fish being caught in the Cunningham Arm and channels around Nungurna. This fishery has continued to improve and offers all anglers a magnificent table fish close to town. Best baits, pippies, mussels, tiny squid.
The old pip. Can't wait for your prototype pip.
Yeah, I'm developing a pip lure, much like the muss lure.
Jake the muss.
Squid strips and peeled prawn. Lake Tyres are seeing quite a few EPs being caught in the now arm on fallen timber laydowns on plastics. Many anglers are polaroiding these fish and sight casting them. The pinkies continue to be caught at 6 Mile Reef in mid 30 meter depth, with careful sounding and barely paying dividends. And he said, "P.S. Well done to Extreme on the recent big bluefin captures. Keep inspiring us all." Extreme is the name of the Edencraft,
Yes,
obviously.
Extreme.
So another ripper report there from Simon with some
Now-
vocal input there from Sam Standing.
Now I do have a video that's come through from Western Australia. Good mate Simon McCluskey there. He has decided to quit work for a year and just travel Australia with his family.
Living the
good.
dream.
And he's just sent us in a report that we haven't actually seen ourselves. So we're going to play it here.
Boys, how's it going? Just giving you a bit of an update of what's been happening. Look, I know it's been a difficult winter for everyone,
He's drinking a beer.
and we are
Looks hot.
struggling, you know.
Okay, just quickly, Dave. This video goes for 4 minutes. Are we going to play it all, or should we have pre-watched it?
We should have pre-watched it. We're terribly unorganised.
Joey just sent me this then. So.
Classic Joe.
Well,
I'm sorry, sub. We're gonna play that on next week podcast after we've watched it. Is that a good deal?
Yeah.
Anyway, sub's been catching all sorts of cool.
He's been throwing the
trevally
stick
and
baits and
stuff off the
in
beach.
Spangleds and
We've got a little taste tester of what he's been.
That's right. Maybe
catching.
we'll just put it on our socials
yeah.
and people can watch it at their leisure.
Yeah.
Just to finish off our reports, I'll read our Jonah Yick Tassie report.
Mm.
In true form, I'll start off negative, he says. Terrible weather here, not many fish windows to get out to fish. Sounds depressing. Mainly school bluefin inshore with the odd big fish around 100 kilo mixed in at Eaglehawk Neck. Still big fish at St Helens, and Bass Strait seems to still be holding good fish. Striped trumpeter being caught down the southwest coast near Matsyker Island. They will start to spawn soon and will move in closer into depth of 80 metres and under. That's all he's sent us. So not much happening
Well,
down in
I've
Tassie.
got a report from Jonah. He went out fishing the other week for tuna, and there was quite a big easterly swell, which is quite horrified to go out, but he went anyway. And I'm not sure if he caught any fish. He may have caught some small tuna, but we didn't see any photos. But what the report I did find quite hilarious was he got rather seasick because it normally takes some I don't know what they're
pills.
called. Yeah, some pills. And I did get a report that he was vomiting.
Absolutely horrible experience.
Even though
Sorry to hear that, Jonah. Like I said, the other reports are basically similar to most weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll since we've been running on a little bit on time, and we've got pizzas there ready to eat, boys.
Yeah, but we are going to try put up some of our footage from the last few fishing trips as well.
Yes, we've got stuff there to edit.
We haven't been online for just over 2 weeks now, so we're back. We're going to keep trying to put videos up weekly. So yeah, stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, we will be doing that. Should we? We'll check out our questions. Have you got any
Yeah.
questions on the YouTube channel there? Or is it
No,
already-
I've been reading them as we go.
I've
Yeah,
got
nice.
I got a question.
What do you
Go.
got, Joey?
So one of the things that I've just had a food obsession about this week is I've been seeing some Instagram reels of some lobster rolls. If anybody's
Yeah.
ever had a lobster roll before, it's
Oh yeah, they're
just-
bloody delicious,
it's just
especially
like-
in a brioche bun.
a brioche bun with like bits of lobster or crayfish chopped up into like some kind of ranch dressing,
Yeah.
topped off with some kind of chopped chives and mwah. But what my question is, what is actually the difference between a crayfish and a lobster?
Well, I think it depends what region you're from, because some call them with nippers, and some call them with just legs, crayfish.
I
I'm
feel
talking
like
about-
yeah. Well, our crays are actually called a red rock lobster
Yeah.
is their name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would identify a lobster as nippy boy
Yeah,
and cray as
the legs, spiky legs,
spiny
yeah.
boy.
oh, there we go.
But
And-
then again, we got freshwater spiny black crays, which have nippers.
well,
so-
what's better to eat, crayfish or lobster?
Could
Oh,
not tell you, Joe.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
I'm sure they all taste the same. Maybe we can have a mystery plate, and you can tell me the difference. I'll just lift up a plate. You try a bit next week, and
Look, one of these days we'll get some lobster rolls. Happy.
Joey, you go flap around like a bull seal and get us some more, and we'll eat them.
I'll work on it.
Let's
Shane's telling us that your headphones have rubbed most of your hair off, Dave.
yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, and Shane's got an answer for the crayfish and lobster for us, Joey.
Oh,
to
yes.
set things straight. He said crayfish are yabbies, and southern rock lobster is what we catch. So Dave was spot on. but we said it the opposite, basically.
Whatever.
And
And
for the record,
Brendan's just calling a crepester.
what and Shane does make one of the best lobster rolls. Sorry, well, yeah, he does make a mean lobster roll.
I think you want lots of butter.
I thought they were very so-so, to be fair.
I thought they were great.
Culinary skills are very underwhelming.
They were so good. I had they were so
Dave's
good.
hitting one back at him.
No, he's hitting one back because I ate 3 rolls and Dave got one that had butter in it.
Yeah, Joe Piggins them all. Do we want to run through
Lots
these
of butter
questions?
does make a good lobster roll, I've got to say.
Does it?
Butter on the brioche.
I would have thought a lot of lobster would.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's read some questions, Adrian.
Joe steals the non-buttered, apparently. But okay, we're going to go to the questions.
Let's do it. Because I can smell pizza.
Yes. So we got Nathan. He's saying, can you run braid with a roller tip? What I understand is it shouldn't be done, but I'm getting mixed answers. Absolutely, you can. A lot of guys these days with, I guess, game gear, they only run top shots and about 100 meters, and then the rest is braid, because when you're fighting fish, your top shot is the first thing that kind of stretches and goes, and you need to replace it. So if you're only replacing 100 meters every fish that you catch on it, it's
Yeah.
low expense. So
Look, there is actually specific rollers made for braid, because some of them, the line can get between the roller and the frame.
Yeah.
And then it'll cut off. But I've been running braid top shots with braid on Tiagra rods for years and years.
What's your experience in maintaining rollers? Because I know you got to maintain those.
you got to oil them.
Yeah, you got to oil them, Joey.
How often do you have to oil your rollers?
Check them every time you use them.
Yeah, most trips.
Okay.
Every few trips anyway.
Yeah. You just want to make sure they're spinning.
That's right.
You don't want any friction on that line.
Yeah, that's good advice. So oil your
Which
rollers.
is actually why I'm afraid of high quality non-rollered guides.
Yeah.
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 Low maintenance.
Yeah.
Do the job. Next one, Mitchy chap. You stick your poles. He sent us a riddle. You stick your poles inside me. You tie me down to get me up. I get wet before you do. What am I?
Well, he's just giving it away because the clue says you take it camping. I'm going to say he's pitching a tent.
That's
that's
about right.
there you go.
Good one, Mitch. Classic. Next one from Dean. Dave mentioned over crimping a couple of months ago. I'm presuming squashing crimp too tight and weakening the trace material. Any tips?
I think he's talking about weakening the actual aluminium crimp itself, aren't you?
No, the line will break.
Yeah.
So basically, you got to get yourself a good pair of crimpers. Technically, you're supposed to match your crimping pliers up with the same brand of crimp and the same leader material, because they're all designed to work in with each other.
Yeah, but a lot of crimps these days will just say the diameter that they're suited for. They won't say 200 or 300, and just say 2.0 to 2.4 or something.
So match your diameter up to the right line, to the right crimp, and then just high quality crimping pliers. And obviously, if you crimp it in the right hole, you can't really over crimp it. You just crimp it as far down as that setting will allow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
How would you crimp it, Joey?
I'd just squish it down.
Just squish it with some butter.
Nah.
And some crayfish.
I've got to, yeah. I did have a crimping lesson once, but, when you're surrounded by lots of great fishermen, you just pass it over to them.
You do the food, we'll do the crimping.
That's it.
Foodman Joe.
Foodman. Very important job on the boat. Next question.
Yes.
So, Fish Pig 500. What leader breaking strain do you suggest?
This is Rodney, by the way.
The whale. Oh, is it?
Fish Pig.
Oh, in that case.
Pig.
I suggest 200 stance like we've just had.
Now I've fished with Rodney, and he likes to run 300 or 400 for his lures, because we've lost a lot of marlin over the years.
He doesn't like to run. He's lazy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't change his leaders from his marlin fishing.
Because we have chafed off a lot of marlin, and we just found out we're better off just using the thick stuff.
Lures.
Yeah.
Look, I actually think barrels on the bigger lures aren't that leader shy, so you probably could go up a bit on the leader, but I've never usually had trouble running
No,
200-pound
caught
leader.
plenty on 200.
And I feel if they are a leader shy at some point, it's probably a good compromise. But
Yeah,
you just
sure.
can't control these things sometimes.
No, you can't.
I'm
It's
pretty
just-
sure that fish would have got through for 400-pound the way it was hooked and the way it was rubbing.
Yeah.
yeah.
We've got one from Joe. We'll ignore that. Traditional Western Port running rig or single paternoster for snapper in Western Port. I have done some little experiments with this and run
experiments,
a
Dave.
paternoster the last few years amongst the running rigs,
I've noticed that.
and it made me cry like Sam is.
Yeah.
The running rigs outfish the paternoster very heavily.
I think because the snapper like grazing on the ground,
Yeah.
and with a paternoster, they're above the mud, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
Look,
yeah.
I'll have to say that I have seen Peter Ferguson at Welshpool. He's done very well on his paternoster down there.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit different there. It's deeper water. I think there's something in the deeper water, like the fish are more up in the water column at times. And obviously,
it's mostly sand there anyway. Like,
you get so many rays there as well. Like,
Oh,
it is
yeah.
worth trying to avoid them.
oh, Shane's actually mentioned. What about the Fergan Noster? So,
Yeah, well, works for Peter. But yeah, like this is just like I've literally had run a paternoster in the whole spread of
yeah,
our snapper rigs for the last few years, and it does catch the odd one, but the majority and the bigger fish are always on the running sinker rig.
correct.
I found.
Yeah.
Very good.
So let's do one more. Because-
Yeah, I'm getting quite hungry. I can
And
smell this
And
pizza.
poor Sammy.
So at the Roach Life, and he wants to know what our thoughts are on bent butt rods and best moon phase with barrels. Well, I can tell you now that
I don't know because everyone rod grabs all my bent butts.
bent
and I
butt
don't get a turn.
bent butt is a lot more easier to fight a big fish on because you got more angle to squat down and collect line.
Yeah, I love fighting a fish on a bent butt as well. Exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Plus one.
Way more leverage on the bent butt. But I still run the straight butts so that I can run them out of the rod riggers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So bent butt preferably for fighting fish.
Yeah, your rod holder's got to be right. Exactly.
Best moon phase for barrels. Well, we
Well-
like the lead up to the full and the full.
Yeah, well, the new moon went well this year too.
Well, that's it. They're big, hungry fish, and they have to eat quite frequently. So they're going to feed most of the moon phase. There might be the odd day where they're quiet, but I wouldn't let the moon phase stop me from fishing for them. But I do like the lead up to the full and even the full moon.
Shane said he's not surprised by Joey's opinion of bent butts.
Oh, shit.
That's a classic southwestern country person attitude, Shane.
Yeah.
You really need to grow up, mate.
So I think that just about does us for this week's show, and
Yes.
we'll be back next week.
Yeah. Can't wait to go to Cheatman's Pond.
You're not going next week though.
No.
Got a
but-
couple more weeks before
It'll be a nice warm pond anyway, Joe.
before you bring mad cow disease back to Australia.
Oh, I just can't wait to get out of shit cold Melbourne for 1 week.
I know it's bloody shocking at the moment.
But the fishing's great. at the
Thanks for
moment.
coming on, Joey.
Yeah, thanks, fellas. Always
Thanks.
good to be here.
Thanks for coming on, Sam.
I'm going to play Dave's little.
What's
night.
up, you bloody legends? Thanks for listening to Win Against Tide again. That's it for another episode. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'd be doing us a massive favor. Thanks, guys. Nice.
Very good.